Woo! What's going on, guys? Orange Storm coming at you guys today with a video, and we got some free agent frenzy news. Breaking news: the Lions signed wide receiver Marvin Jones. He was a free agent out there, an old familiar face coming back to town. We all know who Marvin Jones is. Starving Marvin Jones back in Motown. Good signing. I'm actually pretty impressed with this signing. Not a game-changing signing or anything like that, but this is a solid vet signing. Signed a one-year deal, $3 million. Can get bumped up to $5 million with some incentives. It's a solid deal. Now, we all know the story with the wide receiver room, right? We lost DJ Chark. You know, he went to the Carolina Panthers. He was looking to go become a number one guy. Carolina gave him $5 million. Brad Holmes was not going to start playing games and start getting into a bidding war for an injured wide receiver. And they went out and they got a vet. Now, it seems like now Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are bringing in some vets. They went out and they got Graham Glasgow, brought him back, who used to be here. He's 30 years old. Played for Michigan. He was our old lineman. He was a guard center for 4 years. Went on to bigger things in Denver, bigger money anyways. And they brought him back eventually. Same thing with Marvin Jones, 33 years old. You know, he was here a couple of years ago. He was, how many years did he play in Detroit? He signed with Detroit 2016 and played till 2020. So he played 4 years as a Detroit Lion and put up his best numbers ever, 4,926 yards, 289 catches and 36 touchdowns. Now his stats overall, he's a 10-year guy. Only played 9 though because he missed all of 2000. I believe it was 14 with the Cincinnati Bengals, the team who drafted him. And I don't remember what the injury was, but he's got 542 catches, 7,386 yards, 13.6 yards per reception, 58 touchdowns, and 148 yards rushing. That's 10 years, but only really 9 years of stats because he missed all of 2014. He's been pretty healthy his whole career. You know, he's not the biggest guy, but he's got good length on him, 6'3", 215 pounds, 210 pounds, whatever he weighs there. Long, he's really good with the contested catch. We saw that here for 4 years with him and Matt Stafford. He had his best years as Detroit Lion. Like I said, drafted by Cincinnati, picked up by Detroit. You know, Matt Patricia came. He wanted, he was here for a couple of years with Patricia. Then they wanted to start the ball rolling again. He tested free agency. Jacksonville Jaguars signed him for 2 years, and he put up some okay numbers in Jacksonville. 119 catches, 1,361 yards, and 7 touchdowns in 2 years in Jacksonville, and left a pretty good Jacksonville team. You know, an up-and-coming Jacksonville team, made the playoffs last year, won a playoff game, you know, in that crazy one where they were down, I don't know, 4 touchdowns. I think it was against the Chargers, you know, and they came back and they won that football game. Trevor Lawrence is kind of coming into his own. That offense was starting to click, you know. I think Jacksonville's pretty close, you know, and, you know, Jacksonville didn't want him back. You know, him maybe being 33 years old had something to do with it. But, you know, we got him back. Now, I'm pretty sure we were in the Chark sweepstakes. I don't want to say sweepstakes because he didn't sign for a lot of money, but I'm pretty sure we were trying to re-sign DJ Chark. But like I said, we were not going to get in no bidding war with DJ Chark. And we lost out on him. Brad Holmes probably could have paid the $5 million. He gave this guy, Marvin Jones, $2 million less, which could get bumped up to $5 million with incentives, bonuses. So catches, yards, touchdowns, whatever the bonuses are, I don't really know. Those are always a little bit tricky to find out. Now, this guy, like I said, has been relatively healthy. His last 4 years, he's only missed 4 games. He is a thinner guy. You know, he can run still. He wasn't the greatest at separation when he was in Detroit. I remember him and Kenny Golladay, pretty sure, led the league in least separation from two starting wide receivers in the NFL. You know, but he can run. He's great at the contested catch. He makes diving catches. He moves the chains. He's a vet presence. He's a leader. He's already won a playoff game. So he's got that under his belt. And I remember when Marvin Jones came here. He came back. He came here in 2016, like I said, the year Calvin Johnson retired. And everybody was like, this is your answer for Calvin Johnson. Marvin Jones, pretty much a number 2 in Cincinnati for however long he was there. He was there, Cincinnati for 4 or 5 years, right? Ocho Cinco, whoever else he was behind. But he was very consistent number 2. Not a game-changing wide receiver by any stretch, but made the big play when he could, was very reliable, very good hands, a very good catch rate, like almost a 61% catch rate too through his career. So he's a good football player. Now, he came over in 2016, teamed up with Golden Tate. Him and Golden Tate were pretty much the dynamic duo in Detroit for a while. That's when Stafford became, a more complete quarterback. Didn't just rely on throwing the ball up to Calvin Johnson all the time. He had guys like Marvin Jones and Golden Tate to kind of take some pressure off him. Now, what he did here in his 9-year average too, 60 catches, 820 yards, 6.4 touchdowns, 6.5 touchdowns, and 13.6 yards per catch. That's a 9-year average. So you're looking at his whole basically in the league for 10, only accumulated 9 years though because of that one injured year in 2014 where he missed all the games. Pretty much you're looking at a number 2 right there. 60 catches, 820 yards. You're looking at a little bit better than a number 2 actually. That's a little bit better than a number 2. Not necessarily a number 1, but that is pretty good average for a guy that's been in the league for 10 years. You're looking at a guy that's produced, and like bottom line, we signed Marvin Jones and DJ Chark over there in Carolina. Guess what he's doing? He's under the knife, another ankle and foot surgery. And I wish no ill will on DJ Chark. But imagine if Brad Holmes would have signed him and then that would have happened. He would have been dragged through the mud, Brad Holmes. Through the mud. There's a possibility he's not even ready for camp. They're saying that he's probably going to be ready. But there's a possibility. Like I said, all the power to DJ Chark and all the well wishes, good luck. But I am ecstatic that we did not re-sign that guy. We got a better wide receiver again. Brad Holmes upgraded. Like I said, Chark might have been in their plans, but he wasn't high priority. Just like Jamal Williams. They went elsewhere. They were not going to outbid. They were not going to give too much money. Chark wanted to do his thing. He wanted to possibly become a number 1 in Carolina. That's pretty much what he's going to be. He might not be ready for camp. So good luck to him. We upgraded. And he's 33 years old, and it does not matter. This is an upgrade. Nobody can look at it any other way. Yes, Chark is, 27, 28, 30, 23, like 7-8 years younger. He is. DJ Chark is, but he's never healthy. Like I said, misses 5.2 games a year. You go look at Marvin Jones's stats and his games played. He's missed some games. 2014 was that really bad year. 2018, he missed I think it was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think he missed 7 games as a Detroit Lion. But you look at every other year, all the other years, missed one here, full season. He hasn't missed a lot of time in the last 4 or 5 years. He really hasn't. 2018 was the worst one. Like I said, he played only 9 games with the Detroit Lions. But he's been really, really healthy basically for the last 4 or 5 years. He has. He's only missed 4 games in 4 years. So that you can't be upset with that. And it's a guy that produces. Not at an extremely high level, but he produces. And this is a good signing. Because, listen, you still got your wide receiver 1 it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's your number one option. That's your guy. He's a slot guy. I know, but he's still your WR1. That's what he is. Jameson Williams is supposed to be that number 2. He's your wide receiver too. Now, then you throw in guys like Josh Reynolds, Quintez Cephas, if he even makes the club, Khalif Raymond, who I think is going to have another decent year, who's improved since he's been a Detroit Lion, and now you're throwing in Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones his snaps are going to be limited. He's not going to be out there starting every single snap. He won't get tons of playing time, but you're looking at wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4 for him. I think he's going to outbeat Quintez Cephas. Cephas might have him in age and athletic ability. Cephas can't stay healthy, and Cephas hasn't done nothing in the NFL. He's made a couple. He had that small little window where he played a few games and looked pretty decent, and he hasn't done much since. He just gets hurt. It's a guy that gets hurt, but they like him. They do like him. You can tell because he's still on the team. So this wide receiving core starting to shape up. Now, this doesn't mean, that they're not going to draft a wide receiver in this draft. This doesn't mean that at all. Let's look at reality. Marvin Jones is on a 1-year deal. He is 33 years old. Josh Reynolds is on his final year of his contract. Cephas has got to be on his final year. Khalif Raymond is on his final year. He's got guys like Stanley Berryhill, Trinity Benson, Maurice Alexander, Tom Kennedy. Those guys are practice squad guys, pretty much. Berryhill, Kennedy, Alexander, Benson. Three of those guys might not even be on the team. This is a good move by the Detroit Lions. I like this move a lot. Like this is a solid room. It solidifies that room as of right now. Things could change, in less than a month when the draft comes rolling around. But right now, we're looking pretty. We're looking good. And Marvin Jones adds to that. He's a good wide receiver. Now, this is no Kool-Aid drinking. This is not being no homer, because Marvin Jones, let's face it, he's the 3 or the 4 guy, possibly even a number 5. All depends who they bring in, who they ship out, what happens, but you can't go wrong with this signing. You can't go wrong. It's a smart move. I like this move way better than if they would have signed DJ Chark. This is a good move. I'm actually pretty excited about this move because he comes back. He's familiar with the town. He's familiar with the stadium, the fan base. We know what we're getting in Marvin Jones. Is he going to be a step slower? Possibility for sure he's going to be a step slower. But he's a contested catch guy. He's a move the chains type of guy. He gets open. He's not going to fly by anybody really. But he is a consummate pro. That's what he is. And he's an upgrade over DJ Chark, whether anybody wants to believe that or not. It's an upgrade. It's definitely because best ability is availability. That's what he is. And he's a 60 catch guy, 820 yards, 6.4 touchdowns, 13 yards per catch, 13.6 yards per catch. That's, and we're not even, and he's probably not even going to sniff that because we don't want guys like Amon-Ra and J-Mo or anybody else to really go down. But he is part of this offense now. And I think it's going to be nothing but fun times with this offense. And he brings a little bit of spark, too. He brings that spark. He's going to get everybody fired up coming back into the building, him in Glasgow. I'm excited. I like this move. I think it's a very good move. And I'm breaking it a little bit late because I was doing some things. But I did hear about it a couple hours ago. I just couldn't get home. I wasn't home. I was out actually watching my little girl play floor hockey. So yeah, that's what I was doing. But that's all good, man. Family first. But this is a good move, man. Lions sign wide receiver Marvin Jones, 33 years old, back in the building. Consummate pro, productive leader, vet. So all those things. And he's got he's got a playoff win under his belt from last year. I like that too. So good to have him back, man. It's good to have MJ, the songbird, back in town again. I love it, man. I think it's a good. I'm actually very excited about this move. Good move by Brad Holmes again, nailing it out of the ballpark, man. So thanks a lot, guys. That's the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Get all my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Marvin Jones is back in the building. Hola. Let's go. One pride. Boom, boom, bang. Let's go, baby.